Legend of Total War here, and today we've got a Saving a Disaster battle playing as the Order of Lawmasters going up against the Defenders of the Great Plan. So these are the guys that are Nakai's vassal, and Nakai's got a special technique that, faction mechanic, that allows him to spawn an army for these guys that's all blessed units. So that means that Nakai is at least still alive at the time of the spawning of this, because if you get rid of Nakai, they can't do this anymore. But anyway, we have to deal with this. We're sitting in the Night Forest, this is on the Vortex campaign. And they've attacked the settlements. There's no withdrawing here. If we lose, we get wiped out. Auto resolve does not work. We'll get completely wiped out. It's kind of weird that it says it's evenly matched. I reckon it's probably more along the lines of here. It is on legendary difficulty, so we won't be able to see the balance of power. But anyway, let's jump into the battle and see how we go. It's also a really small map, which is a bit of a problem. I hate fighting Illustria. It's probably one of the worst places to fight. Now, I want to read out the email because it'll give a little bit more context into the situation, and there's a few things that I want to address. So he says, Hi, Legend Total War. It's my first campaign in legendary difficulty and very hard battles. I made a mess pushing myself too much, so here I am. The infantry is not a problem, but I can't shoot down all the dinosaurs before they reach my front line, and I have low experience making the tricky things like hiding my units and weakening the enemy. I don't think it's a lost battle, but I can't win, so you try it. I'm sure you'll make it without problems. Okay. So a few things to note on that. I'm more than happy to do these sort of battles for you guys, but you know, I do get a lot of emails and I have to sort of be picky with these disaster battles, and I think there's something that we want to address here. The technique that I'm going to use here is something that I've been using a fair bit lately, and I'm more than happy to do this, but the more I use a certain technique, the less interested the audience gets, which is understandable. Do you remember a few weeks back, well actually it would have been a few months back now, all the Shaggoth armies that we get, the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth spams? Well, I was happy to do those hour-long battles against 4 Empire armies. Those are fine to do, but what ended up happening is after doing 4 or 5 of them, people were starting to say, this is boring, this is easy, how could you not lose this sort of shit? And the views were going down on them, okay? And I still get those saving disaster battles all the time. They still come in. Full army of Shaggoth up against 4 armies of Empire, can't withdraw. But I don't do them anymore because, listen to the feedback, stop doing them. These videos should provide you with the techniques for you to be able to do them yourself. Now, they do take practice. It requires, just building some muscle memory for doing this sort of stuff. But one thing to note about this guy, he said that he doesn't have much experience in doing this stuff, but he knew what it was he needed to do. He mentioned it in the email. He knew that hiding the enemy units, hiding our units, and weakening the enemy army is exactly what I was going to do. And I can't be there to babysit you on all of your campaigns. So if you know what you need to do in order to win the battle, but you just don't have enough experience at it, do you know how to get experience at it? It's not by sending it in to me to do, it's by doing it yourself. So the guy already knows the answer, he just doesn't have the confidence to do it. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, don't be afraid to lose your campaigns, don't be afraid to lose, okay? You're not going to get better if you send it in to me. When I do these disaster battles, they're not for me to just do it for you and you don't learn from it. I kind of expect that you learn from them so that eventually I don't have to do this technique anymore in your disaster battles. I only have to do them in my campaigns when I get into a disaster battle, because I get into disaster situations all the time myself. But I get myself out of them, sometimes. Alright, so what we're doing here is we're hiding the entire army, of course. That's the obvious thing to do. If we set up a defensive position here, there is no way in hell we can win against this. I would say that he was probably doing the right thing by targeting the enemy infantry, not the dinosaurs, because the dinosaurs, for one thing, are harder to hit because there's, especially the Carnosaurs, they're smaller, which means a lot of shots will miss, but also they're more armored. Even though the Saurus Warriors are more, they've got shields. Yeah, it won't go down well if we set up over here. There's no way we'll kill them fast enough. So what we need to do, obviously, is hide our forces and have Teclis thin out the enemy as much as possible. So basically, I kind of get the picture that people are sort of sick of seeing these sort of battles by now, because I've been doing it a lot lately, because it's really, really effective. And a lot of people are aware of how to do this. So if you're somebody that gets into this sort of situation and this is the answer of how to get yourself out of it, just keep in mind you're going to have to sort it out yourself now. So start making notes, okay? Because I can't be there to bail you out every single time. So hopefully that'll get a few of them. But, you know, I'll try to explain as best as possible how this works and how to maximize the effectiveness of it so that you know exactly what to target. So, in any battle in Warhammer 2, the goal is to inflict the army loss penalty, right? That's just the goal. That's, in terms of what the game is looking for, it's looking for the army loss penalty. And what the army loss penalty does is it's an adjudication of the game basically thinking who wins. Now, just like any board game or you know, sport, you know, there's scoring that can be done. But in a Total War Warhammer, oh god, that went the wrong way. In a Total War Warhammer 2 battle, not every battle is completely fair. In fact, most of the battles that you're going to fight are completely going to be very much unfair. Yeah, that was a complete waste. But we got a good opportunity in here. And this is one of those cases where we're probably outpowered by about 2 to 1 here. But you can still win by sort of, think of it like this. It's like a soccer game, right? Or football, depending on where you are in the world, right? And you're up against a team that's just way better than you. But if you can score 4 goals before halftime and they don't score any, then the game will be adjudicated as a win for you. Even though the other team is better than you and would probably score 8 goals in the second half. You know, this is probably a bad analogy, but if you could do that, you'll win. And that's the whole point of doing this sort of thing. What we're doing here is denying them the ability to score any goals. Their goal is to kill Alpha Hour infantry, because they can't do anything to Techless. They have no ability to deal with this guy. So, by denying them any of their goals, what we're doing here is we're scoring, you know, the 4 goals that we need to get the adjudication. That's what we're trying to do here. Because the game is going to rate, like everything is taking into position when it into balance of power, right? Every little point, every hit point, every stat from speed to armor, charge bonus, weapon strength, every little point matters, right? Now the thing is, when you've got a unit with super high resistances like Techless, and that can fly so most of their units can't attack, and he can use magic, their ammunition, which is counted as balance of power, is actually worth more than our individual hit points. So what they're doing here is they're scoring no goals. Techless is probably worth a total of maybe 10% of our total balance of power, right? So that's if he got killed, we'd be down to 90% of our total balance of power, which we're not going to get him killed doing this. But already, so far in the battle, I've probably inflicted about 30% damage to their entire army. And that's what it's really all about here. By using a really high effective unit on their low effective units, keeping our low effective units out from getting, you know, getting killed. And what this will also do is make it easier for these guys here to finish off the enemy infantry so that we can actually get to the blessed Stegodods and whatnot in the second phase of the battle. Could use Flock of Doom. Damage so far has been okay, but I usually like to use Chain Lightning first to really thin them out, and then Flock of Doom to finish off some of their units, I guess. They don't really have any magic, so doing this is kind of pointless. It's good ability though. I'd use this to heal, but it'll increase the cooldown of sort of Techless, and I need that wins. Okay. So I hope that sort of makes it clear about how this is so effective. Now, of course, it's cheese, obviously, duh. And if you don't want to do it, that's totally fine. But here's another thing as well. If you like don't like using these sort of techniques, but you're fine with sending it in for me to do, that really comes across as lazy to me. And I'm actually less inclined to do that. Sometimes I get disaster battles sent in by people, and in their emails they might say they actually know what they need to do to win it, but they literally admit that they're just too lazy to do it. I just straight up fucking delete the email. I'm not there to help you. If you know what to do, fucking do it yourself, you lazy dick. You know? I'm here. I want to help people that actually have no idea how to win their battle, or like it's too micro intensive or something like that. That's totally fine. That's not amazing. Definitely don't want to land to try to get them to clump up. We'll never get back up. Yeah, that wasn't amazing. Oh, hang on. It's coming back for some more. It's not too bad. Maybe I'll start using Flock of Doom. At least we can sort of guarantee a certain amount of damage with Flock of Doom. Because, yeah, the AI, the way it works is that they only ever try to attack what they can see. So if you only show them one unit, they use weird formations, but yeah, this is all they do. Could use a combination of Amentok and Chain Lightning, but that just uses up more Winds of Magic, and we don't have an unlimited reserve. And we've already done a ton of damage, we're up to 55,000, so don't really need to go. If you time it right, you can get some good casts in. Really, net of Amentok should be to slow the enemy advance towards your front line, not to pin them down and then cast on them. We've also got these fireballs, but these fireballs have low impact, and that's another thing as well. Sometimes you've got abilities that have really low impact, and it's actually better to not use them than to use them and just do nothing with it. That being said, I will use the fireballs. I'm just saying that they're low impact, so it's like low priority. And sometimes if you're focusing on shit that's low impact, like tiny little stat buffs and just things that are not doing very much, you'll actually miss the bigger picture. So sometimes you'll often see me, not use abilities because I'm looking for those bigger things, looking for the big prize, and you'll sometimes you'll miss catching the big fish because you were too busy reeling in a small fish. So big fish being Chain Lightning, small fish being Fireball. That being said, that doesn't guarantee you're ever going to catch the big fish. See, that wasn't amazing. We've also got these ones as well, but that's so hard to be accurate with that. Might save that for when they actually clash into our front line. Because that's definitely useful for units that are already pinned down. Okay, I think at this point here, Flock of Doom might be better, because it's just really hard to get good Chain Lightnings down on them now. Alright, so, we got a few kills in here. Really trying to focus on those Saurus Warriors because of the shields. Not really trying to focus on the Chameleon Skinks, although taking them down is just added bonus. Once they start running out of ammunition, it's going to get harder and harder to actually get these guys because they'll spread out a bit more. So those Flocks of Doom is actually doing quite a bit of damage. Yeah, it's not bad. He doesn't have Manifold Sorcery yet either, so we're not really rolling around in cheap wins just yet. Alright, so see how they've run out of ammo? They're sort of moving towards the other end. They're gonna start moving more and more towards the other end of the map. We're gonna have to pull out and start fighting soon. But we've done a lot of damage to them, which is good. I want to try to get a little bit more. Every bloody Blessed Saurus Warrior that we can get rid of will probably save 2 Archer lives. And make it quicker to get the army losses. We want to get that as soon as possible. Could also run out the timer, which I don't advise doing. Come on, try to get them back over here. Yeah, they're not blobbing up anymore. We're just going to have to make do with with what we can get. We've used up most of our wins, but we've definitely done more than our worth with Techless. Okay, now it's time to... Yeah, now it's time to get set up. Alright, let's do this. Would have liked to have done a bit more, but this is what we've done. Okay. Put the damaged units in the back because you need to replenish afterwards. Garrisons units can go out front because they don't matter. You guys go out front. And just hope that there's enough time to get set up because it is a very small map. So, if we have a look here, that's going to do like 100 damage. 200 damage. It's a few arrows, basically. It's better than nothing. Like I said, low impact. Alright, now, this guy here. What we want to do with him is get them to chase him. He's faster than any of their units. Yep. Oh, hang on. With the horned ones coming in this way early, if we can take them out first, that'd be good. If you can go over here, target them, try to get some of the units to lag behind as much as possible. Okay, we need to fire at will now. And just delay as much of them as possible. Trees giving them a bit of cover, which isn't great for us.
It will be done.
Okay, they're coming in hard and fast here. Alright, Tech, let's get out of there. Need you over here. We're going to start using the fiery convocations once they get into formation against us.
It will be done. Archers. Brave and true. Pull back. I am ready.
Okay, here we go. This is what I was waiting for right here. Just need to get a little bit closer. Okay, cool, it did a bit of damage. Alright, aim for the Stegodons because they're big and they're worth a lot of bounce of power. That's it, just hold them back. We just snipe one dinosaur at a time because they fight at full potential. Oh god. So yeah, Lawmaster of Hoeth, sorry, Swordmaster of Hoeth, not exactly an amazing unit on this difficulty. See, imagine if we fought this when it was at full strength. There was no way we stood a chance. Okay, cool. Another one down. Take out this Blessed Carnosaur. Just take out the dinosaurs now. Don't worry about the Blessed Taurus Warriors. We thinned them out enough that they're not really causing us any problems. Don't worry about the fireball. That guy there's having troubles. Like I said, this is what I was saving it for. Okay. Now go for the Blessed Bastillodon, sorry. Bastillion. And there's the army losses. Now, basically the game adjudicated that we had scored more points than them. Now, if they kept fighting, they were probably going to win. Possibly. Or at the very least, they would have done a ton more damage to us. I don't think we're going to get rid of that.
Chosen of Hoeth.
Yeah, no, it's gone. Killing the enemy lords of no importance. Alright, I want to use Techless to try to get a regrowth down on him, because I don't think he's going to recover that much. Now, other things to consider about how I set up that formation. You notice I put the damage units in the back, because things to consider is, of course, how the game rules apply. If I put them out in front, they would have gotten wiped out. And then you would have had to recruit new ones. Whereas we put the fresh units up the front so that the replenishment tries to be kind of even among all units. Now, it would have definitely been better if these guys here had taken more damage and this one had taken a little bit less. But yeah, you can see the Swordmaster of Hoth did not exactly do an amazing job. Where the archers, many of them got more damage than them. Some of them did anyway. And they're, you know, that's a tier 4 unit. This is tier 1. Alright. This should ensure this guy will be as close to full strength as possible at the beginning of next turn. Yes. Okay, so that's another thing. You cannot get a heroic victory if the balance of power is evenly matched. It's not possible. In fact, the balance of power has to be about 50% higher than your balance of power in order to get a heroic victory. So we were massively outpowered in this battle. The auto-resolver was lying. Who cares about them? They just get replaced anyway. It's pretty clear that you just captured the settlement and didn't scout ahead. That's fine. It's relatively early in the campaign. But yeah, now this is no concern. And let's get some replenishment up in there. So the army recovered a fair bit. Maybe, yeah, this one took a bit too much damage. But that's all that's left of them now. So that's no problem for you. Let's have a look at how you've leveled up this stuff here. Yeah, I'd say you put too much stuff into this right away. You really want to be getting Manifold Sorcery. Like, we could have done a lot more damage. Putting another point into Flock of Doom actually isn't too bad. Bad idea. That's a waste. Because... Let me have a look here. I mean, it wouldn't be making you that much extra money, but you are selling off all your goods, so I guess it's not too bad. But yeah, that should sort out the situation. I mean, you've clearly got your hands full, and you've got 3 armies. The campaign itself doesn't look like it's going too badly. Doesn't have a lot of territory. That's okay. But yeah, that's the end of this one. So hopefully that technique has been fully explained, because I think in future I'm probably not going to do that anymore. So if the solution to your disaster battle is me hiding your army and then using the flying wizard to just do all this magic damage, I think we've shown that enough now. So your laziness basically is not going to... I'm just not going to sort that out for you at this point. Because yeah, I could always just refer you to a video and be like, hey, check this out and just do this and that'll sort you out. But anyway, I hope that's been helpful for you guys. Always happy to do your disaster battles, but we do need to get a variety of things. And sometimes these techniques are pretty easy to do, just require a bit of practice. As with all things, you just need to build some muscle memory and eventually these become second nature. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.